Welcome back to the Storybook Nook. Tonight's story features a very special reindeer named Niblet, who loves to knit. He loves to knit so much that sometimes it gets him in trouble. Will his passion for knitting get him in trouble once again, or will it end up saving Christmas? Let's settle in, snuggle up, and let the magic of the Storybook Nook carry you into the magical story of Niblet the Knitting Reindeer. In a cozy corner of the North Pole, nestled between Santa's workshop and the stables where the reindeer rested, lived Niblet, a very special reindeer. Niblet wasn't like the other reindeer who spent their days practicing for Santa's big Christmas Eve flight. While they dashed, leapt and twirled through the snow, Niblet preferred to sit quietly with a ball of yarn and his trusty knitting needles. Niblet loved to knit. Every scarf, hat and mitten he made was full of love and care. When he wasn't helping Santa prepare for the big night, you'd find him sitting in his favorite chair, his little round glasses perched on his nose, the soft click-clack of his needles filling the air. "I may not be the fastest reindeer," Niblet often said, "but I make sure everyone stays warm." And everyone in the North Pole adored him for it. Santa always wore one of Niblet's scarves. Mrs. Claus treasured her hand-knit shawls, and the elves each had their own cozy mittens, thanks to Niblet. Even the other reindeer proudly wore Niblet's woolen creations. But Niblet's knitting had a habit of getting him into a little trouble, especially on busy nights like Christmas Eve. It was finally Christmas Eve, and the North Pole was buzzing with excitement. Santa was checking his list one last time, the elves were loading the sleigh with presents, and the reindeer were stretching their legs, eager to take flight. Niblet had been working hard all year and had just finished knitting a beautiful red scarf for Santa. "Santa will love this," Niblet said, admiring his work. When Santa arrived to inspect the sleigh, Niblet proudly handed him the scarf. "Why, thank you, Niblet," Santa said, wrapping it around his neck. "It's just the thing I need to keep warm tonight." Niblet beamed with pride, but as the other reindeer lined up for their harnesses, Niblet's thoughts drifted back to his knitting. "Maybe I have time to knit one last thing," he muttered, sneaking off to his favorite corner near the workshop. Niblet found a quiet spot by a twinkling Christmas tree and started knitting a small blanket. "Just one more gift," he said to himself. The needles clicked and clacked as he worked, and he lost track of time. Meanwhile, Santa and the other reindeer were ready to go. "All right, team, let's fly," Santa called out, and with a mighty jingle of bells, the sleigh soared into the night sky. Niblet didn't notice the sleigh leaving until he finished his blanket and looked up. His heart sank. "Oh no, they forgot me!" he cried. Niblet trotted out into the snowy field, searching the sky for the sleigh, but it was already far away. He felt a little tear slip down his cheek. What am I going to do now? Niblet decided to take matters into his own hands and flew off after Santa and the other reindeer. But after a few hours of searching, he was unable to find them and decided to rest at a house with a beautiful tree outside. Just then, a little girl named Lily peeked out of her bedroom window. She had been waiting all night to catch a glimpse of Santa, but instead she saw something unusual. A reindeer was sitting by her family's Christmas tree, looking very sad. Lily quickly bundled up in her coat and slippers and ran outside. "Hello there," she said gently. "Are you okay?" Niblet looked up at her, sniffling. "I'm one of Santa's reindeer, but I was so busy knitting I got left behind." Lily's eyes lit up. "You knit? I love knitting too," she said, showing him the scarf she had made for her dad. Niblet smiled for the first time since being left behind. "It's beautiful," he said. Lily sat down beside him. "Don't worry, Niblet. We'll find a way to get you back to Santa." Lily thought hard. "I have an idea," she said, leading Niblet to her family's sled. She tied a harness out of her dad's old scarves and made a comfy seat with some blankets. "You'll pull the sled and I'll guide us to the North Pole." Niblet hesitated. "I'm not as strong as the other reindeer." "But you're clever," Lily said, "and we'll work together." Niblet nodded, feeling a little braver. With Lily cheering him on, he pulled the sled through snowy fields, past sparkling lights, and over hills. The journey was long, and the snow began to fall heavier, making it harder to see. Niblet started to worry. What if we don't make it in time? But just as he was about to give up, a soft glow lit up the sky. It was Santa's magic. A swirl of golden sparkles surrounded them, and suddenly the sled lifted off the ground. "We're flying!" Lily exclaimed, holding on tight as the magic carried them through the air. When they landed at Santa's workshop, the other reindeer rushed to greet them. "Niblet, you're back!" they cried. Santa stepped forward with a warm smile. "We were so worried about you, Niblet, but I should have known. Your love of knitting saved the day." Niblet blushed. "I'm sorry I got left behind. I just wanted to finish one last gift." Santa chuckled. "And that's why you're so special, Niblet. You always think of others." Santa turned to Lily. "Thank you, young lady, for helping Niblet get home. You have the true spirit of Christmas in your heart." He sprinkled a handful of shimmering Christmas magic over Lily. "Now, let's get you back home in time for Christmas morning." With a wave of his hand, the magic surrounded Lily, lifting her gently into the air. She waved goodbye to Niblet as she floated back to her house. On Christmas morning, Lily woke up to find a special package under her tree. Inside was a beautiful hand-knit scarf with a little tag that read, "For my knitting friend, love, Niblet." Back at the North Pole, Niblet celebrated Christmas with his friends, proud to have made it home in time. And from that day on, he always made time for one extra gift each year, for the girl who believed in him and shared his love of knitting. And so, Niblet the Knitting Reindeer continued to warm hearts, one stitch at a time. Thanks for joining us at the Storybook Nook. Remember to like and subscribe so you never miss a bedtime story. Sweet dreams, sleep well, and see you next time for a new story.